And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, for the start of our NECC third place varsity Overwatch game here at Valpo Esports versus University of California, Santa Cruz. I'm your host, Diadem. I'm here with my co-host.
Erajai.
In
And we are...
Oh,
sorry. We're
Go
going
for it.
in. This is going to be the final game of the season. Going for this third place matchup, though, for Valpo Varsity Overwatch.
And taking a look at our roster really quick, we're going to have Tank Fusic, DPS, Wit, and Atlas, Support, Kirakuki, and CQ9. So a roster that we've seen a lot of this season, right? We've had a couple of swaps up as well, but overall, pretty consistently performing, right? There's a reason that this team is fighting for a podium spot here.
Yep. So we're going to be looking in. We're going to be starting out with the teleporter strat, I think, maybe? Maybe. I don't know. That's my guess. But I like that. But we're also starting with an interesting thing, seeing the Genji Reaper coming out for DPS as well as the Malg, because Malg is meta right now, because why not?
Yeah, it's always a fun time when Malg is meta, you know, definitely not a little bit of a special champ design. I love Malga though, so I can't complain.
A good champ design, just not best for game. Anyway, going into this first fight, going to be playing around this left corner right now, but the Malg is getting in. Brig is forced to back up for Valpo, and just going to be trying to play around this point right now.
Yeah, you're going to see you have a lot of frontline damage with this Malga, and you have a ton of chip as well coming from Wit on these sides, so you just got to split them up a little bit. And it looks like Malga immediately dove in this backline, but gets knocked down. He is going one. He will almost drop, but the healing is just too much right now. They don't have enough DPS to drop him. They're just going to move to the side, but they're slowly falling.
And Grand Valley State is going to have to back up for right now, so going into this one, and Valpo's going to take first fight and take point early on, too.
It almost looked like Atlas DC'd there a little bit there. The movement getting robotic, but no, Valpo winning off that first fight. Exactly what you want to see, right? Take advantage of the Malga, losing his positioning, diving in a little bit too deep without his team. Hold that point really strong, and hopefully keep that momentum up.
So we're keeping the same comps relatively for both teams right now, but Wit is going to get an early pulse bomb on the Juno. This is leaving Valpo in a 5v4 right now, going to be up one going for this, and they're forced to back up right now going into this next fight.
Yep, no, you have a lot of pressure now, right? You got the pick, it's going to be really huge, so you don't have to worry too much now about at least losing anything. Obviously, respawns are pretty quick, so you get a lot of ult charge. You're going to be able to stack it up. You have this Malga ult as well to zone, and there it is. You're immediately going to jump down. You're going to try and kill this. You have Atlas popping the Death Blossom as well, just sticking him in this cage. Not much you can do. There's a Reaper on the flank. They did lose one. Genji does pick up one, and there's the Death Blossom from the side. Oh my goodness.
Yep, and that is going to be a team wipe for Valpo. Able to get the Juno early on in that fight, but the rest of the team just wasn't able to capitalize on it right now. And University of California, Santa Cruz, my mistake earlier, was able to get just a lot of a head up on that fight, with especially the Ray going into that one.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of a huge thing, right? CQ9 was at 95% going into that fight with Ray not being able to have it yet. So Ray definitely changes that, but they're going to use it right now. Immediately popped in as an answer to this Malga ult. Malga immediately gets chipped out, and that's going to be a lot of damage. They're going to trade off some fights here. You still have both Briggs as well. Dash into the back line, but Brig picks up two, Genji picks up one, and Fusic is just going to jump off the mat here to reset.
Yep, that was just a quick team fight from California going on that one. Valpo just not really able to respond, especially with that Genji blade, just not being able to counteract with it. Looking at the ult economy right now, we're actually looking at it in Valpo's favor, especially with this pulse bomb right now. Wit trying to take a little bit of a peek going on to this, and the Genji going in for it. Just going in off the side and just going to try and take some poke damage and try and get the head on this thing. They're still in the lead currently, but not after this next fight.
Nice stick.
And that is a nice support down for California going in, getting the early kill. Wit going down as well, but that's still a trade worth taking, especially with it being a tracer.
Yeah, there's a nice step, but immediately another support falls down for the side of Valpo.
But Kirakuki is going to fall.
Support. Atlas does take another pick. Fusic is just dashing to the health pack though. Over on the side, you have a numbers advantage here, but they even it right back out. Atlas falls, and now Valpo stuck off this point. It's rough when you take these even trades. You don't have objective on point. You're losing a lot of percentage here. You're gonna have to probably force the last push coming up.
Yep, they're going to have to force the last push right here. Fusic taking a little bit more of an off angle compared to what they were taking before. CQ9 and Brig going to be able to have to take more of a little aggressive angle, but also trying to keep it safe. We are seeing a massive cage going on right here, but going to see an Atlas Blossom taking 2 down, but CQ9 falls as well. Valpo is up currently multiple, and Valpo is going to take this fight with both cage and Death Blossom being used.
That's huge. You do have to worry about this ult economy coming up though. Obviously, you have pretty much 2 fights in you, 2 to 3 fights in you with this percentage left. And right now, University of California Santa Cruz has definitely a lot of space to work with. They don't have to throw every ult out. Best case scenario for Valpo here is to try and bait something without getting too dragged in, especially knowing that Malgo ult's coming up. Right?
So going into it. Mostly going to be looking for this Ray here coming from Valpo's. That's the strongest thing they're going to have to counteract that. Early Ray from California here, and going to reverse with the later Ray, going to be able to take it, and both Junos are going to fall right there. But there is a Brig ult on the field, going to be taking down. Tank falls too. This is an even fight for Valpo currently. And this is just going to be, but there's a blade on the field taking down Kirakuki. Atlas falls as well. Wit falls too. And California is going to be trying to take back point quickly and possible. There might be a Fusic touch, but that's about it we've been looking for. But this is a close game right now. That is unfortunate right there. Going to be both taken down, and that is going to be map 1 for California.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit rough at that very end there, right? Obviously, we talked about kind of the old distribution and a lot of the advantage that percentage had for University of California. So going into this one, not really much you can do, but just shake it off, right? Move to next map, got a little bit different position, and see if they swap up the comp a little bit here, but...
I actually like sticking this comp right now. It's currently working. Even though we didn't take that first map, still being able to go pretty even with the things. Just a lot of... The main thing that I feel like that came down to is just ult usage. Being able to, with California, Valpo being able to throw out multiple ults, but California being able to win even when Valpo used more ults. So just a lot of ult usage going into that one right there. But we're going to be looking at this next point, so just gotta refresh, reset.
Yeah, name of the game, like you said, just get more bang for your buck. Be able to use that ult percentage as much as you can, because Atlas immediately going to take a bit of an aggressive position. Wit has the flank as well. DPS just kind of setting up in this spot. Make sure Malga doesn't get overrun this backside here. You still have 2 supports behind him, so you're kind of just tanking. You're giving up that high ground for this advantage immediately on point, forcing them. They're going to have to push in if you don't want an early capture. You're just kind of sticking on this point here, and just contested with 1 second left. All you have is Genji. Genji gets off the point, and Valpo will take the first one. You trade 2 kills there.
That is trading cute kills. That is not the worst trade in the world, especially now that we have a DPS gone for California as well. Their Brig is gone too. Going to be up a support and a DPS, but Juno might get out. Juno gets out here.
That away, Atlas. No, really, really nice, kind of taking that advantage first, and then as they pushed them off, going with the 1-for-1 trade, you have Atlas with the TP behind, you have Malga dashing in, just really good timing on that part, and being able to clean up.
Yep, going to be looking for this. California taking a little bit more of a high ground up here. Both DPS going to be trying to go after the other 2 DPS, and a Brig going to be staying on this low ground, but the Malga is forced to drop too, and we are seeing a first thing on the field, pulse bomb on the field from Valpo, but doesn't find anything.
Oh, there's the beam immediately. It looks like
Yep.
University of California is looking to get a push out here. They're going to immediately shove in. Atlas ults in the back line, though. He's going to be able to find one and lower two. Kirakuki finishes off. That's 3 down. All it is a 3 kills to 1 kill right now. And Genji in this back line. You took the health pack as well. Nothing he can do with Valpo with a clean team kill coming up on this start.
And that's what I was talking about, especially with the alt usage right there. Valpo being able to look for these specific alts and being able to turn around and use them. For example, the Juno Ray just didn't help at all there, and especially in that cage with the Blossom, being able to take the take the loss of 2 alts and still win that fight.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like obviously you use the beam to kind of push up, right, and just cover your push, but they didn't get enough space in Reaper. They were still in that choke point by the end of the time Ray finished off. So overall, good timing on Valpo being able to slow that fight down, and Atlas is just being a complete monster in this backline. It feels impossible for University of California to get past this choke here as 2 fall down. The pulse bomb goes down. It's not going to be able to pick anything off as
Wit goes down.
Wit falls, but you still have at least enough pressure. You burn out this Brigitte ult, and then Brigitte falls. You have somebody sneaking in this backline trying to just hop on point, but
Valpo's up 2 currently right here, going to take down another support, but that is a Blade and a Blossom coming out from California, just getting a little bit desperate here, trying to use as many ults as possible. Just going to be, but Valpo's going to throw out the Ray, and there's no, the Reaper's still alive. And Lucio.
Yeah, nothing you could do. Atlas on a 15-player kill streak there, just disgusting that round. Absolutely disgusting.
Valpo just being able to counteract with their ults in just the right amount of time, and especially at the end there, California got very desperate trying to hold on to that point.
I mean, you just got to roll out at some point, right, and trying to touch point, but Atlas just bullying them in those choke points, because you have the constant barrage from Wit. You have Amalga, who is like a complete drain tank sitting in front, so with the 2 supports behind Malga, it's impossible to kill him, so all you can do is deal with Atlas, and Atlas played his positioning really well there. Not really much you could pick off there, and Valpo made it almost unbreakable on that start.
Yep, just looking for those, trying to do the opportune wraiths, oh my gosh, and just being able to look it through. But we will be starting out with another teleport going into this first one, just for the early movement, and Valpo is going to be getting to point first here.
Yep. Now we're just walking up to the side. You have a lot of speed, right? You need to be able to get this Ignite off, looking for a couple of crits. You have Genji flanking on this right side here as well. Gotta be a little bit careful, but looks like Atlas will drop down onto this point. Wit is also still on flank again, just bullying this backline. Almost finds the Juno. Juno healing just gonna be a little bit too much with that Brigitte. Not gonna be able to get this kill, but still just
Valpo is still holding on right here, going to be looking for this kill, but Valpo's going to need to find it soon. They don't have the sustain to really hold it. Both teams just looking for that next kill, and that is going to be the first kill in Valpo's favor. KO going down for California. Tank is incredibly low for California, and Valpo is going to be up 2 currently. Only supports left on the field.
Great stomp as well, and that's just going to be a clean wipe. Valpo, way to play. That's how you come back with it.
That is a long fight, but still win in Valpo's favor. One of the things that I'm noticing from California is they're really trying to find those early picks. So supports here, especially CQ9, are going to have to play very cautious, especially. Same thing with Atlas and Wit, but mostly CQ9 and a little bit of Kirakuki, just going to be trying to find the main healers out of the way first. But we will be looking for a nice, what is it called? A nice pulse from Wit going in here, but we are going to see Neo Kazuya go down for California, going to be able to be on this point, but they are down 1, so not going to be able to get a fair amount of off, but Atlas going to die, Wit going to, but they're going to commit to this fight, thinking going to lose both DPS. Valpo is down Fusic, both supports are the only things left, going to be forced to back out, and Kirakuki is not going to get down, Valpo, CQ9 being chased.
Yeah. I like the aggressiveness, right? I like the TP, but it's one of those where you gotta know the cooldowns that are up, right? When you have Genji Reflect and you have Brigitte up, it's really hard to just try and ult straight into him.
One of the good things though is Valpo used Blossom in exchange for Ray, which I think is a very good trade right there. Just being able to get it out and get the Ray out, especially just because of how valuable the Ray is.
There's the Malgo as well, immediately gonna
that is going to be risky, especially if the backline Genji is going in right now. But Fusic is able to keeping it on. Valpo is going to have about
nice interrupt too.
Fair amount of ults. Wit is the only one going down. Valpo is currently up 1 going into this next fight. Fusic is getting fairly low, though, going into it. Valpo is able to contest right now and just going to try and get a little bit of percent, but Kale is still holding on in the back for California.
Just trying to get back to that front. Gets a lot of healing, but Fusic Snuff is just going to stop that, then pushing back to the side. Mal goes back on the point for University of California, but the other 4 teams are dead, and all that's left is there.
Yep, and looking at ult economy right now, California is only coming up on Ray. Valpo has another Death Blossom coming in. But we are seeing a 62% to an arcade, 57 to a pulse bomb going into it. Valpo is looking fairly good in ult economy, especially compared to California.
Yep, definitely. And all you have really left is, 1 or 2 fights back in you. So setting up for this, if you can just survive this push here without blowing too much, you're really, really in a good spot for that very last fight.
We are going to see an early Ray going in to use to be pushed. Going to be looking for this Genji, though. That Genji is looking for those kills, like I mentioned before. Going to be looking for, especially CQ9, trying to find him out of position and just looking for it, as that is the main source of healing for Valpo. Valpo giving a little bit of space just to be able to try and back up and letting them use out some of their ults.
Yeah, I like that. Just play with the tempo. You're ahead. No need to force something but until you're ready. And here comes the force right now. Pops in with the Malgo as well. The shred coming from Atlas, and then the pulse bomb in the backline. That's gonna finish off 2. All that's left is 3 people on point. With dashing around, being able to pick up the 3rd one. All that's left is Brigitte. Brigitte's gone. That's another team kill for Valpo, and hopefully, unless they go a quick.
California is going to be looking for a touch here, but probably not going to get it. Getting the 98%, Valpo at 9900, and they do. And
nice.
California does not touch. First game going to Valpo.
No, yeah, that's definitely what you want to see. Valpo being able to come back after that first map loss, get a couple of changes, and really perform. Right, like you said, you definitely were right about the fact that I don't think the comp needs to change much, right?
No.
It's just more so about performance, and they definitely performed.
Yep, it was a lot of just performance, but a lot of ult usage, and Valpo noticed that and was able to start pulling it out and just being able to work with it.
Yeah, definitely, but really good answer to that very first series. I'm excited to see, what these guys have to pull out for this best of 5, but we will catch you guys at the start of game 2. And we are back, ladies, gentlemen, and MBs, for the start of Game 2 of this Valpo versus UCSC. And we're going to take a quick moment here to update the score because Valpo is up 1-0 in the series right now, right? Obviously taking Antarctic. Pretty strong showing as well, especially those last two maps.
Yep. Going into this, we are going to have to acknowledge this very not a very different team comp from Valpo's norm. Valpo's not normally taking poke comps going into the games, but is going to be going so. We're also seeing Like a Bus subbed in for Wit right here, and Valpo's going to be taking these more poke comps. For example, CQ9 on the BAP, Kirakuki on the oh gosh, Zen. We got a Hanzo and a Mei coming in with the Sigma.
Yeah, definitely. And now pushing on this point, right? Obviously an interesting comp, not usually what we see out of first point for Grand Prix, but...
For Valpo. For Valpo, it's not a normal comp going into this, but we are seeing Like a Bus swap over to the Soldier going into it. Very interesting swap, honestly, but I don't mind it at all, especially if you're confident on it going into it. Going into a Soldier, especially for that Juno, as we just saw right there, going to knock down very low. Valpo going to be having to play around this Widow. That's the main thing right now, and that's main part of what Kale is trying to do right now, is just forcing Valpo to back up, and it's working, especially with Diana going into it.
Yeah, Valpo doesn't really have a lot of pressure pushing up here. It's getting a little bit rough. Kinds of nice rock, though. Might be able to find the Echo, but the 50% HP threshold has been hit. So she is just melting Fusic right now as they make this final hold on point. But not really much you can do with the purple. Immediately drops down as well. Kale picks up a triple kill for the side of Valpo. And then Neo just finishes off that fourth one. All that's left is Atlas in this back line, but Echo is not going to let that stand.
That is going to be a big stagger for in California's favor. Valpo swapping it up on the supports too. I don't mind the swap for the supports. Brig and Juno works very well for us, so going to be going in with this. With the Sig is a little bit interesting, but we are very close to a grab, so going to be looking for this. Echo is very low for California right here. Going to just be trying to look for it. I think he's looking for the grab right now, and just going to be trying to see what they can get right now. But Fusic is low incredibly, going down to stickies right there, and Atlas is going to be forced to take on more of the role of tank, but not going to be able to do much going into it. Kirakuki falling yet again, and Valpo is going to be forced to back up as Atlas falls, Like a Bus and CQ9 just trying to see if they can get out.
Yeah, now they're just pushing to the back, and Valpo definitely lost a little bit of their momentum, right? Having a hard time trying to set up on this point, at least. Like a Bus is going to be able to pick off that Echo and shred out this Widowmaker a little bit, but the ult in the backline from Sigma, hopefully you'll be able to trade, but the shield is just going to be a little bit too much. Like a Bus jumps onto this point, trying to get as much healing as they can with the Mei ult as well. I mean, they're going to shred this. They are making a hold at 1 meter, but it's not going to be enough.
Yep, Valpo's not
shredding, yeah.
Valpo's not going to be able to probably hold on to this one, especially as California just keeps coming back, and California takes that point. Going in, though, not all hope is lost going into this. First game of the season, we were able to see Valpo hold out like a 5-minute push there on 0.60 meters, I think it was. And Valpo is able to go in, but we are seeing CQ9 get staggered a bit here, but not all hope is lost. Valpo is just going to be looking for this. This is where circuit games can be made here on 4 event. Even with the worst defense, you can still win a circuit game, especially here on this third point.
There's a lot of angles you can take, a lot of positioning that you have under your belt. So if you could just take advantage of a little bit of it, you know, take an angle that you want and then make this final hold, especially with the quick respawns, you're in an okay spot still, right?
Yep, going to be looking for this, going to find it,
nice.
But Ana is going to be taken down for the side of California right here. Valpo is going to be up. Never mind, not up 1, but Atlas going down as well. But Valpo is going to be in a little bit of an advantage, but still using the Echo ult. Still going to be seeing that. Echo is forced out of ult right there, and Valpo is going to be taking a fair amount. Shadow going down for the side of California. Ana is going to be coming back, but California isn't going to have it. Main thing right now you want is to see if you can cake out the Sig.
There we go. And that is Valpo's first 1 team fight of this map, at least pushing them off. So, you know, obviously making a change that works a little bit here. You're going to have a couple of ults coming into play as well in this next rotation. So, you guys see how they want to react.
Yep, going into it. Seeing 2 support ults coming on the side of Valpo versus the Sig ult for the side of California. So looking fairly decent. Only next ult that's coming out the closest is on a Ana's Nano for California. So Valpo's looking at a pretty good spot for Alt Academy, especially going into the next few fights.
Yeah, so now you just gotta be careful about shredding a little bit, right? Atlas still around this corner, trying to get a little bit of a flank going on. You have Sigma up there with you as well, but there are 5 enemy
the whole
teams.
team is up top there. Going to be able to get a fair amount, but that is going to be a grab going on there. CQ9 able to get out the Ray beforehand. Shadow Game going down for California. Both supports are down for each team, but Valpo has a Ray on their side. Valpo is going to be in a very good spot to win right here, and going to take out the Sigma as well. Valpo's CQ9's Ray before going down was what saved Valpo right there.
Yeah, no, that's huge. All that healing was definitely allowing them to take those kind of prolonged fights that they've been taking this game. But now you have 2 ults still up. Obviously, you got to be worried about the Nano. You got to be worried about Echo just stealing Genji here, especially because you have Nano up. It's a bit rough. But otherwise, I think Valpo's in a pretty good spot.
Yep, going to be looking for this and going to look for the early kill on the Sig, but not going to find it. Going to be trying to find anything, but going to go after the Ana and going to potentially be a good one. Ana going down very quickly. Going to take down the Sig. Valpo going to be holding here, and California is forced to back up.
Yeah, no, really nice early usage of that ult. A lot of the times it's rough because you have to make the decision between either you hold it or you have to just like wait for the perfect moment, or you go immediately when you see an angle. Even though it was a one-person ult, it was enough to shatter that push.
Going into this next fight, though, we are going to be seeing both teams with 3 ults on play right now. CQ9 and Fusic going to be a little bit further behind. Fusic going to be a little bit further behind to counterpart, especially for that ult, but still looking pretty decent on this even ground right now.
Yep, you see Atlas have to reflect, just kind of back up a little bit here, still playing around with a little bit of his cooldowns. Gets a couple of hits. They're still holding this high ground. They're kind of letting them push in because you have a lot more of a wombo, and there it is. There's the dash in immediately to the backline as well. Going to be able to find 1 kill. Looking for the second one on the reset, but the shield healing's just not going to be enough.
That is both DPS going down for the side of one DPS going down for the side, each person side going to be receiving that.
Nice.
Echo is first out of the thing. Sigma is the only thing kind of separated from supports right here. Sigma going down, Ana going down, and that is going to be California backing up yet again, Juno only escaping.
A huge fight again for Valpo. I mean, now you push it to a minute left. You have to be careful about Sigma, but you blew both support ults, right? That's huge for you. You have Beam coming up as well, so you still have a little bit more healing in your back pocket for this last couple of pushes and fights. And that sustained fight is exactly what happens when the time is running out, right? Feels like it's just trickling in, so anytime you can play against that, it's really helpful.
Yep, Valpo was able to make a fair amount of decent comeback right here. Going to be using 3 ults though, but California is only really going to have the 1 Sig ult and doesn't even have it yet. CQ9 building up Ray very quickly. Going to be able to look for an early Ray as well as Fusic is going to also be looking for a grab coming in too. And that is an early grab for Sig. Going to be going with this early Ray. Ray in retaliation. Sigma is caught out. Sig is going to die there. Valpo is going to be able to push in on this. We are in overtime, but Valpo is going to be up all of them.
Yeah,
all of them.
Way to go. That was a great fight. That was an insane fight. Especially being able to wait out that very early Sigma ult. If you showed me Valpo's team fighting from the 3rd point and then showed me they're fighting on the very 1st point, I would tell you they're very different teams. I wouldn't have guessed it's from the same exact team, same exact game, same exact map, right? Like, they just kind of woke up at that very 3rd point and they played their positioning really well.
Well, the other thing is that with that 3rd point in circuit, we've seen it happen before. Valpo just not able to hold the 1st or 2nd point, but being able to hold, especially on that 3rd point. I mean, we saw that first week of the season here with NECC, being able to take that against ISU. That was one of the main things that stood Valpo out a lot amongst the crowd.
Yep, definitely. So now we're going to have to see their push coming on offense, right? What kind of comps they want to run. We know that the Widowmaker on offense was pretty destructive, but Valpo might not opt into that. We gotta see what Bus wants to pick. Pharah. Ooh.
Interesting.
Might
I haven't seen this one.
It might be a bit rough once you see the Widow, but
maybe it depends.
Yeah, it could flip.
The Widow
could be weird.
the Widow wasn't getting a fair amount of value. It was more putting pressure on the team to be able to have to take these weirder angles. That was where the Widow was mainly shining, especially for California. So the Pharah can work, especially if you get an early kill on that Widow. Nobody can really retaliate besides the Echo.
Yeah, definitely. So now, pushing out, we're just going to have to see how it goes.
Yep.
Obviously, looking for the first pick, you have Echo over the wall. Not going to be able to hit it, but you have two people that can flank this side. There's both boosts immediately used. They're trying to just chip off, but Echo is holding that angle. Yeah, Lycabus saw the scouting, immediately going to go swap.
Yep. Not going to be able to work, just not going to be able to find any of those picks, so going to be looking for the swap. Just going to be trying to take this, but Valpo is currently in a 4v5 right now.
Yeah. And now it's a 3v5 because Atlas will fall to the beam. You're going to have to back up a little bit here. You know, obviously just a little bit too much damage early off there. Not going to be able to answer it back out, but now fully respawned.
Yep, fully needs to respawn, but going to need to be looking for these picks going in, especially against the Widow. Going to be taking a fair amount going into it. Anti, but still able to do a fair amount. Valpo is just going to be looking for these ticks. Atlas going down though, and that is going to be on California, especially since that's what their focus is. Going to be focusing on that getting that single pick. Valpo might not be able to recover here. Just going to be looking for it.
And still shredding on the side, you have to be careful. Kale picks off one in the back line, and now Valpo is down to support. They're going to have to back up, and they're bound in AD as well.
So a lot of damage. So a lot of Poke's strongest suits is just being able to grab one and be able to roll with it. That's like the same thing with Brawl Comp too. You need to look for that first kill and then you just start rolling. And as we saw there, that first kill on Atlas was able to allow them to just keep going. So I do like the swap to the cast going on from Lycabus here, especially for the Echo. Going to be able to look for those kills a lot more readily with the hit scan.
Yeah, and now Fusick still trying to push up on this point a little bit. Valpo getting in a little bit of their footing, especially on this. If you can land a clutch rock here, it would be huge, but does hit barrier, not going to be able to find it. Still fighting. You have to shred, and Atlas finds first pick.
That is going to be a first
finds
pick.
The second one.
That is 2 picks for Valpo going into this next one. California is forced to back up going into this, and they are going to be looking for this lift, going to get the Ana, going to be finding Atlas cleans up right there. Sig going to be the main one last on the field. Kale taking CQ9 dough on their way out.
Atlas and Fusick are just kind of running this backline now. They're spreading out so long because you have really, really consistent damage hit scan from Lycabus that you can kind of just walk up, right?
Yeah.
Like just dive, let Lycabus handle like all the outliers, be able to make that play, especially with those ults. So pretty huge.
Yep, CQ9 back on the play right now. Going to be able to see a lot more of this play. I want to see more of this cohesion, but the cast is definitely going to be helping in Valpo's favor. Right now, though, not looking very good. Looking okay on the ult economy. A little bit behind, and that could be a deal breaker for this next fight. Not sure yet, but Atlas is just a little bit behind, but an early Ray from Valpo going into this next one.
Yeah, no, now pushing back. Oh, and it looks like, yeah, University of California Santa Cruz is going to pause really quick. So, take it to the casters here because it looks like they're dealing with a couple of lag issues just really quickly. So, we are going to take a slight break here because they are rejoining back in the game, and we will catch you guys when we resume.
All right, we're going to be back here, ladies and gentlemen, and NB's going into it. Going to be leaving them in a very rough position. California is, especially after the crash right now. But Valpo is going to be using this, trying to their advantage, but throwing out the Echo ult in an attempt to get anything back. And now Nate is back on the play for California. Going to be looking for a blade, though. Not able to find it. But CQ9 able to get the tank down. Echo ult going suit. And Valpo is going to be able to take up a fair amount of positioning. Just going to be looking for the space here. Valpo is going to be able to, like a bus falling right there, but Echo falling as well. Valpo going to be seeing this brig counter brig play going on right here, and Valpo is going to see, just not going to be able to see this. This brig has been holding on for dear life right now for California going into it. Brig just not able to fall. Juno looking at them very closely and seeing this brig ult come out from Valpo, going to see the brig fall finally, but is it going to be enough? The Echo is going to fall, Sig is going to fall, and Valpo is going to be taking point here.
Nice. No, that's a really, really good fight right there, being able to sustain that. Nice thing is, right, your DPS go down, but you have both your supports up and you have your tank up, so if there's anything you can do, it's wait, right? Like, you output a lot of damage with Sigma already, you have a ton of healing still in your backline, so even if you don't find the picks, like that brig was just holding on that point, you have enough time to bring your DPS back into that fight.
A lot you can say here, especially seeing that California, you can just say how strong these teams are, but California is still able to take that 4v5 for a little bit of time going into that. Still being able to take it, even though they were down 1. So Valpo is going to be up here with a fair amount of time, going to be taking these more aggressive angles, but Echo going to be looking for this, but here Kuki and Like a Bus just staying out of the fight, but going to see this brig early on, but Sigma is going to be looking at him right now. Going to get a fair amount of stuff off. Oh, cool.
Yeah, so much healing as well. You have to be able to keep Like a Bus up there, and then immediately here comes the beam coming out from the side of University of California, but the ult from Brigitte as well. Atlas still jumping up from the side, going to be able to get picked off. They're still playing on this point, but honestly, if you're Valpo, it's not the worst thing in the world to just back up here. Right, Yusik is just full in though. Gonna be able to find a pick, so now actually you just turn it. They swapped to Winston, immediately gonna jump on this point, but
this Ray.
Yeah, there's the beam coming out. Here comes the Sigma ult as well, popping up on point, just trying to keep them off this objective. Dashing up to the side, that's 3 kills.
Going to be game.
Nice. Way to play, way to play. Valpo having a little bit of a rocky start in both rounds, but immediately just sprinting it right through once they get locked in and winning that last round with those last like 3 minutes pretty confidently.
Going to see a Widow play from California right here. Going to be able to find these small kills, just going to be looking for it. And there's 2 DPS falling right there. Not going to be able to find anything. Going to be looking for this brig kill. Finds it, and Valpo is forced to back up there.
Hey, nasty clip.
Yes, of
Nasty
course.
clip, that's what you want. But we are going to take a slight break again before we move into game 3 of this series. Valpo being up 2-0.
All right, and we are back here going into push right here on Esperanza, and Valpo is going to be sticking the same team comp they did yesterday, only with or earlier, just with a keeping the Reaper, bringing that back from control, and going to be having a soldier instead.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen like us kind of gravitate towards these hit scan characters, with Hanzo being like the one exception, even though Hanzo's projectile is pretty fast. So these kind of longer range engagements. Oh my goodness.
That is a melted Reaper going into that one, but Fusic is going to be anti going into this. Forced to back up a fair amount, going to be having to struggle to withstand, getting slept there.
This character's broken. Also, shout out to CQ9 and Kirakuki. They're being able to walk up and actually, help with the healing there, because it's just nasty. But I mean, the Malga's disgusting.
Welcome to Malga, everyone. Going to be able to going to be looking for this kill on the break, finds a kill on the Ana, Atlas finding a kill on the Ana, and Malga is just going to accept his death and go on there. Valpo just going to continue moving bots.
I don't blame them at all with that. That was just disgusting. Really, really nice shred on that Reaper, right? Obviously, a lot of RNG with those headshots sometimes, but if it works out, skill expression was being able to take that opportunity, dash in, and just know your limits. They're playing really well. Fusic opened the gates on this very first map.
Valpo going to be going into this. We are going to be seeing this. Just going to be trying to take this a little bit more of a contained fight going in here, but this is a great opportunity for Atlas if he chooses to go for it with the Blossom going into it. Going to be looking for this. Potentially looking for it right now. Actually.
Oh, it's TP'd a little bit too far.
TP'd a little too far. The Echo is aware of him right there, and Atlas goes down. Unfortunately, the Echo was able to call him out right there, but trading Reapers going into this fight. Valpos is currently staying up right now, but is going to get a reverse. And that, like of us, just kind of shredding. Kirakuki also shredding, and just going to be able to take out another team kill for Valpo, just getting this momentum, keeping it rolling.
Yeah, I mean, you have 4 ults up now, right? Obviously, to the 3 ults on the side of University of California, so you're in a really, really sweet spot. You are obviously missing the Malgo ult, which is a huge one, right? In comparison, they do have their Malgo ult, but you play your spacing well, you should be able to deal with it. But here comes the Malgo ult immediately. The beam's going to be able to answer. Yeah,
and that is going to be an early kill on the Malga. Echo going to be coming back, going to shred the Echo ult as well. Going to be coming in, going to get the Echo, and they're forced to back up as well. Atlas going to continue to go in.
I like that TP, because you have Like of Us's damage following up right behind as well. There's so much damage in Valpo already. I mean, what are we, 2 minutes into this game? We're pushing on final objective.
Into this game. Not a single fight won for California right here. It's not entirely over, but going to be a long fight. Kale falling very quickly going into it, using the very early use of E right there from the Malga. Going to be a very risky fight for them to take. They are going to be coming back with their Malga soon going into this. Valpo should be looking for it, but the Malga is getting incredibly low. Going to be falling. Kirakuki reverse ulting in return, but Valpo is going to be seeing another ult, and they are going to cage on fight and going to take this game for securing Valpo Varsity 3rd place.
That's how you take 3rd place. That was a commanding victory right there, and
exactly.
Quite frankly, saved us a lot of time in the booth. a lot of my voice. I'll still have my voice tonight, unlike the Rocket League final yesterday. And Fusic deservingly with this very final play.
And that is a good way to end off the season today, honestly. Going to be able to end it off with a good 3rd place. Decent showing from all teams, especially Rocket League, who got 2nd place yesterday. Still going to be very good, just having a good season overall.
Yeah, extremely exciting to be able to watch this team. Again, you heard a lot from me yesterday, but same goes here. It's just been an exciting journey with this team. So being able to end it off on the podium as well for Valpo, securing 2 podiums with Rocket League and Varsity Overwatch, it's a great feeling. It's definitely a good way to sign it off. So any last thoughts or words?
Nope, just see you next semester.
Yep, we will see you guys next semester. It's a bittersweet feeling. So
yes.
Thank you for all the likes, follows, comments, and subscribes. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the chat. For the record, I don't know who would win between Fusic and Atlas. Just to finish it off, we've been watching it and having a good time being able to read those chats. So we appreciate you guys. And we will catch you guys at the start of next semester.
See ya.